The first one they have is Manifestor.
So let's talk about manifestors.
Yes. So the I'm a manifestor. And again, this is 9% of the population. And in one of the videos that I watched, in particular, because this was on the Jovian archive site. So this is the website that was created by the estate of the founder of the human design system. He said that the greatest danger for a manifester is to be conditioned by generators. I was like, okay, so Nachi, don't be trying to condition me. Thank you. Uh,
No one's trying to
so
condition you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's interesting is that with manifestors, we have the ability to start off projects and act independently. And this is this is how we come to be in this world, right? And a lot of that is manifestors tend to be self-reliant. They and that's part of the whole, they initiate things, and so they don't really necessarily need others to make things happen. They kick off things and then people come on board. But one of the things that manifestors have to do is is the strategy for a manifestor is to inform, meaning that I don't go about in life as a manifestor to ask for permission to do things. When I say inform, it's telling you that I'm going to do this before it happens so that you're aware and you're not thrown off by what I just did. And that is how I gain the trust of others that are meant to help me along the way. The Some of the issues that manifestors can get into is the fact that if they move without informing, it can come off as yeah, like startling for people who aren't used to that, aren't used to people who are self-reliant, and they may feel, I guess some of y'all can't handle that. I mean, stop. No,
Well,
but
well, you know what
no.
I found funny? Well, it was interesting because I said, "Damn, but this ain't Damaris." When I was reading here, they talked about manifestors. They are not designed to continually work, and I said, "What?"
Come on now. Come on now.
I said that
I
is
cannot work
Damaris.
like a donkey.
They want a peaceful life, and I was
Yes,
cracking.
yes,
I was like, "If
yes.
this isn't Damaris," and the funny thing is, manifest generators are doers, and
Hmm.
and so I laugh because you're always talking about, oh, it's working like a donkey, right? You're always talking about me, right? You always
Right.
say,
Talking about you
and
working like a donkey. Yes.
it was, and I'm like, I'm not working like a donkey. I'm just doing stuff.
Right, right. And I don't
I
I don't understand that because that's not
Yeah,
in
you
my
don't, and
DNA.
right, and I don't understand why you think I'm working like a donkey. I'm like, I'm not working like a donkey. What are you talking about?
Yes, yes. And the other thing is too, they say for the manifester, they say the manifester has a powerful aura that can feel rather dense and closed off, keeping others at a distance. It acts as a barrier to the outside world to protect manifestors' independence and the need to be self-contained. Now, if that ain't me, about being
Mhm.
self-contained is another word for being what's is another way of explaining that I need my freedom.
Yes,
And
yes.
and this so this is this perfectly explains why I recently moved out of New York City, a place that I've lived 40 plus years of my life.
Listen,
But
let me tell you, Damaris, if you had probably asked her maybe even 5 years ago,
yep,
would you have moved out of New York? It would have been
like
like,
hell no.
hell no.
Hell no. Hell no. But here's the thing with New York City. I cannot I love that city. That city nurtured me, right? It made me part of who I am today. And I will always love that city, but I will love it as a tourist and not as a
Mm-hmm.
resident.
Mm-hmm.
That place is too restrictive for me. Like in the last, ever since the global health slash mental meltdown of 2020, I couldn't live. I no longer was in alignment with that place vibrationally. I started to notice that vibrationally, New York City and I, that love affair was ending.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it had to do with its suffocating and restrictive culture that just doesn't align with me and my need to be free and my need for peace. Manifestors need peace.
Yeah.
So they talk about with manifestors, my not self is anger. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a manifestor's not self. Not self means that when you're not in alignment, if you're likely angry, and you need to address like what is it, what's the root of the cause of your anger,
And that would be your
because
sign. That would be your sign that you're
right,
not
that you're
aligned.
off track.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sign that you're on track is peace for manifestors. I desire peace. New York City stopped giving me peace in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I, it was so. Guess what? Damaris extricates herself.
Right.
I disengage. I don't need to
Right.
be here.
Right. Right.
Now I have freedom to move about the cabin. You know what I mean? Like
And you're at
I
peace
have
now.
views and I'm at peace.
Mm-hmm.
I love that city. Nobody talks shit about that city. Watch
Well,
your mouth.
nobody talk about
But
Miss Jenkins.
right. But this wasn't for me anymore. And part of it is this. My need for independence and freedom was lacking in that environment. So, and again, so when you're not living to your true nature as a manifester, you're dealing with anger, and that's not a good place to be. And then, yeah, I seek peace. I seek peace,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I seek.
And that is very you. That is very you. I see. I know it.
I know, I know. And um, the other thing too, the whole idea of my strategy my strategy as a manifestor is to inform, to get less resistance from people is interesting because I think about how I launched the podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
I did not inform people right away. As we were planning it, I didn't inform people. I informed people a couple weeks before I did it so that no one's surprised, like, oh my God, what's this thing you're doing? No,
Right. You didn't say anything to me.
right. Guess what? It's coming in 2 weeks. So you still got informed.
Right,
And part of
right.
that was not telling people early on because I didn't need any influence
Mm-hmm.
to stop me from launching the podcast because I knew intuitively that is what I needed to do.
Right, right, right.
So that is just something about what's important
Yeah,
there.
manifestors are initiators. They take
Yeah.
action, and
Yeah.
that's
And I
what
was like,
they're
oh
there
my
for. They're
God.
there to impact others. Yeah, I
Exactly. And
get that.
again, while my niece was the one who put me onto my human design probably in 2021, even when as like, I didn't really look into it that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing things naturally because I'm just doing things that tends to give me the least resistance, meaning I'm going with the
Mm-hmm.
flow that feels right. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really have a specific plan. So
Right, right.
that was just one of the things. And it's also funny to read that with manifestors, your energy, your aura can be off-putting. And that is because we're very self-reliant.
Right, right.
And so some people may be, again, this is why it's important for me to inform. So people are not so, I guess, taken aback of like, oh, you're doing this? Oh,
Right.
wow, you did that already? It's like,
You
calm
didn't
down.
involve me. Why the fuck would I involve you?
Yeah, yeah. But at least if I inform you, you're like, oh, okay, I knew she was doing this, even though she doesn't need my help. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not saying that I don't want people's help. No, guys, help me out.
Right, right,
Help
right.
me. Help me, help me. But I'm
And
just
help
saying,
you.
right. but it makes me think about when I like my trip to Japan when I went with my two friends, and
Mm-hmm.
in preparation for the trip, I knew that I didn't just want to go to Tokyo. I was going to spend a few days in Kyoto, whether or not these people wanted to go with me. So I
Right.
put my itinerary together. I said,
This is
"Girls,
where I'm going.
I'm doing these for 3 days. This is my itinerary. If you want to join me, let me know. If not, cool beans. Like I'm good. Like
Mm-hmm.
and And so I was thinking back to that, and it made sense. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm very reliant. I don't necessarily always need to do things with others, or, and, and part of sometimes they said manifestors' energy can be closed off, but it's just a way to also protect them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know,
You know, that's
I
always good
don't
to
know
know
you.
about
Let me stop.
yeah, no, but it's always good to know about other types, right?
Yes, yes,
Just
because then you
for
know how
that
to
very
engage.
reason, right? For that very reason. Yeah.
And
No,
so, yeah,
that is
so
so
that
demanding.
was interesting. So, love you guys, and just want to close out with there's a lot of noise out there, but our message is consistent. Stop getting distracted by the smoke and mirrors. Tune out the noise and focus on your divine purpose in life. Vibrate higher to elevate your frequency, and always thank you for listening.